But when I stopped bike racing, I thought, you know, living Durango was cool. That's why I moved there sort of towards the end of my road career and my mountain bike career. And I had applied for a job at the local lumber mill. And they were like, "You're breathing, you're hired." And I was all set to work at the lumber mill in Durango. And the day I was supposed to go to work, there was a picture on the cover of the local newspaper, the Durango Herald, and it says, "Industrial accident at mill." And I'm like doing the math, there's only one mill. And a guy had been impaled by a dowel. And it was so long that they couldn't load him into the ambulance to take him to the emergency room. So they had a picture of this kid with a 12-foot dowel sticking out of his chest. And they had put bungee cords on the gurney into the back of the ambulance. So he was just looking at the cameraman like, "Help me!" And they sawed the dowel off at the emergency room. He survived, but I was like, I thought bike racing sucked. The lumber mill's gonna really suck. And as I was walking out the door, the TV network called and said, "Would you like to do some television?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I love it." And the first year that we had the rights to the tour, it was in 2001. And Lance had won the tour in '99 and 2000. In those days, it was still on ESPN. And so it was like a half an hour of highlights starting at midnight. So those were sort of the dark days. And it's funny that ESPN had lost the rights to us 2 years earlier because the organizers of the tour were so discouraged with the way ESPN was covering the race. And we told the tour organizers, "We'll show the race live. We'll show it 3 times a day. We'll hire Bob Roll." And so the first year, I didn't realize, but there's free alcohol for the journalists at the tour. And they start just after breakfast when they get there. So I'm like, this race is awesome. I should have retired years ago. I had known. So I started drinking my way through the tour, and about a week into the tour, the interviews, my job was to interview Lance. The interviews went like this, like, "Lance, you gotta help me." And Lance is like, "Boopka, is that your question?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry, I've been drinking all day." So they fired me. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, "Oh my God, I drank my way through the tour. That was awesome. I didn't even ask Lance one question." And the network's like, "Yeah, it was really funny. You're fired." So in 2002, I was not at the tour, but Frankie Andretti was there instead, and he and Lance were having some problems. So the problems came out later, but actually Lance told the owner of Outdoor Life Network before Versus, it was OLN, that if I wasn't back at the tour, he wasn't going to talk to our network. "That's great, Bobby, but no more drinking like a lunatic." So when they came back, they put me with Kirsten Gum. That didn't go so good either. And we have a little microphone or earpiece, and we can hear the producer when we're on the set. So the producer tells us when to start talking and what to do, and when the commercials are coming, he counts us out. So my producer at the time was a guy called Mark Malati, great guy, and he's like, "Okay, Bob, look at Kirsten in 5 seconds and start talking." So I'm like, 5, 4, 3. No, I can't do it. So they had to fire Kirsten. They had to fire Kirsten Gum because I was such a jackass. And so they hired Al Trautwig next. Al Trautwig was next. And Al, you know, wasn't the perhaps ideal person to be a part of the tour coverage because people have gotten so accustomed to the smooth stylings of Phil and Paul that I don't know. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed working with Al, for the record. And it just sort of rubbed people the wrong way, especially really hardcore bike fans. So I told Al that he should just say whatever Phil Liggett says. And so Al was like, I don't know, Bobke, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, just try it. Whatever Phil says, just say it. He's dancing on the pedals. He's reached into his suitcase of courage. He's in a spot of bother. And it's funny, it's the exact same words, but people hated it even more. So they had to fire Al. So. And now I'm with Craig Hummer. All right. Yeah. I like working with Craig also, so the main thing they don't, I haven't worked with Bob Costas. I've seen him on TV though, but apparently I'm the last man standing for the yeah.